The morning rush at Skyline Corporations was at its peak. Employees hurried across the marble floors, security teams coordinated movements, and the tall glass doors slid open and shut like a rhythmic machine. Everyone seemed absorbed in their own world, everyone except a small girl standing silently in a corner of the lobby. She looked out of place, wearing a faded yellow dress, her backpack hanging crookedly from one shoulder. Her tiny hands clutched a worn-out stuffed rabbit, its one ear almost torn off. But what stood out the most were her eyes, wide, anxious, shimmering with unshed tears. She had been standing there for almost 10 minutes, looking around as if gathering courage. People passed by, not realizing she wasn't supposed to be there. No one noticed, until she took a hesitant step toward the central elevator where CEO Daniel Hartman had just arrived. Daniel was a man who commanded attention the moment he stepped into any room, tall, confident, impeccably dressed. Employees straightened their backs when he passed. His schedule was packed down to the minute, and he rarely stopped for anything. But today was different. Just as he began walking toward the conference wing, he felt a light tug on his suit jacket. He looked down, surprised. A little girl stood next to him, trembling. "Sir," she whispered, her voice so soft he almost missed it. "My mom, she isn't waking up." For a moment, Daniel froze. The noise of the lobby seemed to fade, leaving only the child's frightened eyes in his line of sight. His heartbeat quickened unexpectedly. This wasn't a complaint. This wasn't a lost child asking for directions. There was real fear in her voice, raw, urgent. The CEO's face drained of color. He slowly lowered himself to her level. "What did you say, sweetheart?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. She swallowed hard. My mom works here. She fell in the staff room early morning. I tried waking her up, but she's not moving." A shiver ran down Daniel's spine. Something inside him cracked open, an emotion he hadn't felt in years. His usually composed demeanor slipped away. "Show me," he said quietly, but with urgency. "Take me to her right now." The girl instantly grabbed his hand, pulling him toward the employee wing. Daniel didn't hesitate. He didn't call security or send someone else. He followed the little girl himself. As they walked swiftly through the long corridor, memories Daniel thought he had buried deep began resurfacing. When he had been a child, he too had found his mother unconscious one morning. He remembered the panic, the helplessness, the terrifying silence in the room. The fear in this girl's voice had ripped open something old and painful. The hallway was empty, unusually quiet. The girl stopped at a door marked Staff Rest Area. Her hand trembled as she pushed it open. Inside, the lights were dim. A cleaning cart stood to the side, and on one of the couches lay a woman in a gray office uniform. Her hair was spread across the cushion, her face pale. Her arm hung loosely from the couch edge. The little girl ran to her. "Mom, Mom, please wake up. I brought someone to help." Daniel felt his chest tighten. The woman wasn't responding. He quickly stepped forward and checked for breathing. Relief washed through him. She was breathing, but shallowly. Very weak. He immediately called out, "Get the medical team here now." His voice echoed through the room, powerful, commanding. Within seconds, employees rushed in. The medical staff arrived with equipment, and Daniel stepped aside but stayed close, his jaw clenched, watching every movement. The girl stood beside her mother, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Is she going to be okay?" she whispered. Daniel knelt beside her. "We're doing everything we can," he said softly. "You're very brave for coming to find help." She said she was tired. The girl sniffed. "She works extra hours. I told her to rest last night, but she said she had to finish reports." Daniel's heart twisted painfully. Suddenly, the corporate world he ruled with precision felt unbearably cold. How many employees pushed themselves like this? How many sacrifices went unnoticed? The medical team lifted the woman onto a stretcher. "Severe exhaustion and low blood pressure," one medic said. "She needs immediate treatment, but she'll be okay." The girl collapsed into a chair, overwhelmed by relief. Daniel sat beside her, unsure why he felt the need to stay. She looked up at him with eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you. If you didn't come, I don't know." He shook his head. You did the right thing. You saved your mom. Can I go with her? She asked. Of course, he said gently. And I'll come too. The lobby watched in stunned silence as the CEO, known for his strict professionalism, walked alongside a little girl and the medics. His hand rested lightly on her shoulder, guiding her, protecting her. That day, employees whispered how they had never seen Daniel Hartman like this. But what they didn't know was that the small girl's desperate plea had awakened something in him, a reminder that behind every employee was a life, a family, a story. And sometimes, all it took was a whisper to change a heart. The moment the little girl's trembling voice reached him, CEO Daniel Hartman felt something inside him collapse. He had faced corporate crises, lawsuits, market crashes, hostile takeovers, but nothing had ever pierced him the way those 6 words did. My mom isn't waking up, sir. For a heartbeat, the world around him froze. The clicking of heels, the ringing of phones, the distant hum of printers, all of it faded into a heavy, suffocating silence. Without thinking, he lowered himself to the girl's height. His polished shoes squeaked faintly as his knees touched the cool marble floor. His employees stared in disbelief. The CEO never knelt. But right now, none of them existed in his mind, only the child standing before him, shaking like a leaf caught in a storm. Take me to her right now, he said softly, but with a firmness that left no room for question. The girl's small fingers instantly wrapped around his hand. Her grip was both desperate and trusting, and Daniel felt a jolt of responsibility surge through him. She tugged him toward the employee corridor, and he followed without hesitation. As they hurried through the long hallway, Daniel's breaths grew shallow. His heart pounded against his ribs, each beat echoing the growing dread inside him. He had no idea what he was about to see, but the fear in the girl's voice had been real. Too real. Something is wrong. Terribly wrong. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead as they passed office rooms, printing stations, and storage areas. His staff stared after them, whispering among themselves, confused at the sight of their powerful CEO being dragged by a tiny girl clutching a stuffed rabbit. But Daniel didn't slow down. Didn't question. Didn't delegate. He just ran. As they approached the employee lounge, the girl's steps grew faster, her little shoes pattering urgently against the tile floor. She's in there, she whispered, pointing to a half-open door. Daniel pushed it fully open. The sight hit him like a punch. On the far sofa lay a woman, still, pale, motionless. Her head was tilted awkwardly, her dark hair spilling across the cushion. One arm dangled lifelessly over the edge. A spilled cup of coffee lay nearby, its contents soaked into the carpet. The girl rushed to her. Mom, Mom, I brought help. She shook her mother's arm gently, then harder, but the woman did not react. Daniel felt a cold shiver run through him. His feet moved before his mind caught up. He knelt beside the woman, checking for breathing, for pulse, for any sign of response. A faint breath, weak, but present. Relief washed through him, yet fear still gripped his chest. He straightened up and shouted, "Medical team, now!" His voice thundered through the hallway, startling everyone nearby. Within moments, employees scrambled to obey. The medical responders arrived with a stretcher, rushing toward the unconscious woman. As they checked her vitals, Daniel stepped back, but couldn't bring himself to leave. The girl clung to her mother's arm, her voice breaking. "Please wake up, please." Daniel knelt beside her again, placing a careful hand on her shoulder. "She's breathing," he whispered. "They're helping her now. But, will she be okay?" Her voice cracked with fear. "We'll do everything possible," he said, and he meant it. The medics exchanged quick, professional words. Severe exhaustion. Blood pressure dangerously low. Possible collapse from overwork. Each phrase stabbed at Daniel's conscience. Overwork. In his company. A woman collapsing while trying to meet deadlines. Guilt crept up his spine like frost. The girl looked at him again, tears falling silently. "She always works late, even when she's tired." She said she had to finish important files. Daniel swallowed hard. The files she was finishing, were they for his office? His deadlines? His expectations? He didn't want to know. But he already did. As the medics lifted the woman onto the stretcher, the girl panicked. "Please don't leave me. I want to go with my mom." Daniel rose to his full height, then gently took her hand. "You're going with her. I'll make sure of it." The girl's teary eyes searched his face, perhaps unsure whether to trust him fully. But she nodded. The stretcher rolled out of the lounge, and Daniel walked beside it, one hand resting lightly on the child's back. The employees who saw the scene couldn't hide their shock. Their famously stoic CEO now looked like someone carrying a personal burden he hadn't expected to face. As they reached the lobby, the child's voice broke the heavy silence. "Sir, thank you, for coming with me." Daniel stopped walking. He looked down at her. Her small hand, her tear-streaked face, her bravery, and in that moment, something shifted inside him, deep, irreversible. "I should be thanking you," he said quietly. "You did the bravest thing someone could do, you asked for help." The girl gave a small, trembling smile. The ambulance doors opened. The woman was gently lifted inside. Daniel helped the little girl climb in, fastening her seatbelt. "Are you coming too?" she asked softly. Daniel paused. "Yes," he said finally. "I'm not leaving you alone. Not today." As the doors closed, Daniel knew this was more than a medical emergency. It was a wake-up call, one that would change the way he led, the way he cared, and the way he saw the people who worked for him. Sometimes, a single moment, a single whisper, a single frightened child, is all it takes to change a man forever.